that, Frame Raider.
Super Mario Sunshine is one of my favorite platformers, and there's many reasons for it. An obvious one being the Flood gadget that allowed for greater depth in the level design without forcing a complicated moveset. I can't deny Sunshine's criticisms though. Mario's handling is a bit rough around the edges, but I would argue that this adds to its charm. I feel it's undeniable that Sunshine has a great aesthetic, and for me at least, that makes up for whatever short-term frustrations I find myself in. Super Mario Eclipse is an ambitious new ROM hack by fans. It aims to recapture the original spark of Sunshine by further expanding the island and giving you plenty of new locations to explore. Much like the original, in order to activate the end game, you need to collect the 7th shine in each area. I should really mention that there's a set of options next to the save select screen, one to enable 60 FPS and one to enable widescreen. I was so excited to jump in that I failed to notice this. So in order to keep the footage consistent, I decided to keep playing it this way. Don't be like me. Eclipse was advertised as being a Sunshine 2 of sorts. I do understand why, although it's less of a sequel and more like a supercharged DX version with plenty of new stages. You'll spend a good deal of time playing through the original missions, with some new features like a long jump and expanded flood abilities. The long jump makes use of the Z button, so you no longer have access to that shine map. At least you can see how many shines and blue coins you have by pausing the game, but only for the current stage. In my opinion, that's the project's biggest drawback, so with that out of the way, let's take a look at how Eclipse pays homage to Super Mario Sunshine. Once again, you'll be talking with Pianta NPCs, clearing up puddles of goop, running through goofy psychedelic special stages, and more. How will you travel from one place to another? Well, Isle Delfino has been redesigned, now with paths that lead you straight to the intended location, with only a short loading screen in between. I wasn't sure how to feel about this at first, as it completely changes the progression of the game. You can go anywhere at any time. In fact, you can defeat Shadow Mario in Peanut Park before he even kidnaps Princess Peach. Then see the cutscene later where he does exactly that. What? Beyond that one inconsistency though, it works much better than I expected. In fact, I now greatly prefer this to the progression of the original. How about that? Now, you can't just swim all throughout the island to travel. That'd be pretty difficult to achieve on this hardware. But you can swim into designated triggers, which is more or less the same thing anyways. Many of these paths have signs to describe where you're headed. Not all of them, but either way, Mario can now explore pretty much the entirety of the island, including places you'd never expect to see. It's truly remarkable. Notice that new area in the distance? This is one of Eclipse's 4 new main zones. And what are these 4 main zones, you ask? In no specific order, this is Airtoe Rock, a cliffside next to the volcano. You can climb up to it from the rightmost side of the plaza. Hotel La Crima is a hideout for shady Piantas. Could say more about that, but I'll leave it for you to discover. You can get there by taking a train in Rico Harbor. Lighthouse Island is exactly what it sounds like, just off the shore of Gelato Beach. Warship Island is a historical site consisting of idle ships and an underground base. It can be found near the Pianta village, accessed by turning backwards upon entry. And speaking of Warship Island, the first mission makes use of the missile mechanic that I believe was only present for Peanut Park in the original game. Eclipse makes more frequent use of this mechanic altogether, making up for how underutilized it once was. For all these locations I've mentioned, there may be more methods of travel beyond what I've said. I've used numerous routes myself, but these were my most common methods. These are only the new main zones. There are also secret areas to discover, and even more stages to unlock later in the game. They've created some new tracks for the unique locations, which are nothing short of excellent, greatly reminiscent of Koji Kondo's style. Many older Mario themes have returned as well, using the Sunshine sound font. It's a lot of fun and helps to blend this game with Mario's existing adventures. You're probably wondering what the new Shine missions are like. Most of them are within the realm of expectation. You've got red coins, Il Piantissimo races, etc. But there are a fair amount of unique ideas too. I delivered pizza to a bunch of hotel guests, eliminated a boss or two, had some tricky platforming challenges to conquer, and there was even a key collecting mission that required using Yoshi to eliminate some orange goo. The creative shines are definitely the ones I enjoyed the most. It makes me hope that someday in the future we'll see a lot more advanced Sunshine projects like this one. While most of the new shines are easy to figure out, there are a few where it's like, wait, what do I do here? For instance, this one Lighthouse mini-golf game. The intro only shows the hole, but not the ball. For me at least, it wasn't obvious that it would be at the back of that one hut. Sunshine would often have 2 previews during the mission intro that would show the start and end goal, but Eclipse usually has just one. Yes, most, but not all of these are self-explanatory. I really enjoyed the new special stages. Is there anyone else out there that could play an endless amount of these and still have a good time? Just be aware that some of these are quite challenging, and they will put your Sunshine platforming skills to the test, even if you're considerably familiar with it. Love the occasional good sense of humor in this mod. There's this one Noki during a mission that says "Don't ask" sitting outside his door. Then the next time you see him, he says he's got in trouble for making his girlfriend watch a horror movie. Look, I don't know what I was really expecting, but not this level of creative character building. And this is just one instance. There's stuff like this throughout the entire project. Now, one thing I did struggle with initially is forgetting how to get to certain places. After playing for a few hours, I did get the hang of it, but there really should be more signs around. Is it wrong to think there should be one at the entry of each location? While I'm on this subject, there's this one path between areas that has a withered stone statue with a profound philosophy to tell. I'll just let this play. I almost stopped playing because it really struck an emotional chord with me. I didn't expect this at all, but I'm so glad it's there. You know Corona Mountain? The final stage of Sunshine, basically? Now it's used as another path to other areas. Before the takeover, anyways. I was hoping this would have its own unique theme, as in the original, hearing that theme for the first time after hours of play made it feel like a remarkable new discovery. But here, it's an oddly menacing theme for a place that, in this state anyways, is rather casual. Overall, the island feels significantly more developed, almost like it's a real location you're exploring. Really an above and beyond interpretation of the original that I can't commend them enough for. Here's one subtle but appreciated change I noticed. You're no longer asked to save every time you make progress. For example, when collecting a shine sprite or blue coin. Now it does so automatically instead. Kinda wonder why this wasn't the case to begin with. If you're familiar with existing Sunshine hacks, you've likely tried Sunburn. It was released some years ago, and improved on numerous things, like not being required to exit a level after collecting a shine sprite. This, among several other ideas, also made their way into Eclipse. Do keep in mind though, missions that drastically change the layout will send you back to the Shine Select screen regardless, which is still much better than being kicked to Delfino Plaza. Speaking of, you can actually go back to that screen at any time by holding Z while pressing A on the Exit Area selection, as you can see there. While this might seem like a small fix, it's a huge time saver. You'll no longer have to die then enter the M portal to start over again. So what's the point of those M portals now then? Honestly, it's more of a trivial thing in Eclipse. If it were up to me, I would have completely changed what these do. Maybe something simple like clearing them up grants you a shine sprite. Yes, these are more convenient for quick and easy travel, but then the question is, why don't these exist for the other areas as well? It's a tricky discussion to have. Yoshi's had a major overhaul in Eclipse. Growing up, there was nothing I wanted more out of Sunshine than to ride Green Yoshi. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Yoshi no longer needs fruit in order to hatch. You can just show up to the egg and there you go. Now Yoshi ain't got no juice until you eat a fruit. So in order to spray down those goopy orange things, you'll need to find one. Oh, and now Yoshi can swim in the water. Never understood why he couldn't. Canonically, this is fine. However, I suppose as an effort to maintain the challenge, he will still die if he enters water after eating a fruit. See, Yoshi has indigestion and stomach cramps. Bit of a spoiler alert here, so be warned, 3, 2, 1. There are 2 bonus unlockable characters in Eclipse. You get access to Il Piantissimo once you complete all of his challenges, and he's introduced with a brand new cutscene. Now you'll be able to choose him prior to entering or restarting a mission. Piantissimo jumps high and runs really fast. He can also do a double jump on command, which allows you to abruptly change directions. He can't use Flood, but is able to throw water balloons, and Mario can as well if Flood is missing. Kinda funny how Piantissimo wasn't given any new voice lines. I think he only has like 3. I get it, they didn't want to throw off the original feel of the character, but it is a little goofy hearing the same sounds all the time. Here's another spoiler, 3, 2, 1. Defeating Bowser's hot tub unlocks Luigi. He can jump very high, even when mounting Yoshi. While Luigi mostly uses Luigi sounds, there are still a few Mario effects remaining there. From this point on, there's a great deal more to play. In fact, you could argue this is where the Eclipse experience truly opens up. You're given access to a huge selection of new stages to try, depending on the number of Shine sprites you've collected thus far. This gives a whole new incentive to 100% completion, something that I think we can all agree Sunshine once handled very poorly. From these stages that I played, they're pretty good. The Vaporwave one feels like the developers were playing around and seeing what they could come up with, which is great. They've got some truly eye-popping visuals here, no doubt. Admittedly, I haven't played much of these yet myself. I'm having difficulty finding time to play games these days, let alone make videos about them. But I will definitely return to this when the time is right. I think that, regardless, I've done enough to imply that this is an excellent project and you need to give it a try. As is the nature of fan projects, many of the issues that I've mentioned today, none of which being too serious, could be fixed by the time you get around to playing it. I didn't start with the launch build myself. What you're seeing is version 1.01, which came a day or so after its launch. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at Super Mario Eclipse. What do you think? Are you interested? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.